Okay, so how do we find the area of this isosceles triangle? So we haven't done a lot of area yet, but area of a triangle is just base times height divided by 2. So we just need to find the height, and you can always look that formula up because it looks like we might be doing this internet thing for a while. So since the triangle is isosceles, all right, you know that these two sides are equal, and you know that these two angles are 90, and you also know that these base angles are equal. So by angle angle side, that creates two congruent triangles, which means that these two parts of the base are going to equal each other. So in other words, in an isosceles triangle, the height here is also a perpendicular bisector of this side, and it's also an angle bisector. So we know that each part of that base is going to be 16. So that creates a right triangle here where the hypotenuse is 20, the leg is 16, and the other leg is h. So to find the height, we would do h squared plus 16 squared is equal to 20 squared. And then you get h squared is equal to 20 squared, which is 400, minus 16 squared, which is, I believe, 256. Yep. And then if you do 400 minus 256, you get 144, which means that h has to be 12. And that's actually a Pythagorean triple. 3, 4, 5 is an example of a Pythagorean triple. That means it's an integer that works in the Pythagorean theorem, 3 integers that work. So that means because of similar triangles, like any multiple of these numbers will work. So if you ever notice that like 2 of your legs are multiples of 3, 4, or 5, then you can use this to figure out the side lengths instead of doing the Pythagorean theorem. So like if you were to multiply all these lengths by 4, you would get 16 or 12, 16, 20. So that's an example of a Pythagorean triple. If you happen to recognize these two numbers, you know that the third side has to be that. Alright, so now we know that the height is 12, so our area is going to be base, which is 32, so make sure you use the whole base, times the height, which is 12, and then divide by 2. And if you do that on your calculator, you get 192 is the area, and the units would be square feet.